Number 7, time is your greatest asset. Most people think their biggest financial asset is money, but in reality, your most powerful asset is time. Because money can be lost and earned again. Skills can be learned. Opportunities can return. But time, once gone, never comes back. In finance, time does something magical. It allows small amounts of money to grow into big ones without extra effort. That's why someone who starts saving or investing at 22 often ends up wealthier than someone who starts at 35. Even if the second person earns more, it sounds unfair. But it's not about income, it's about timing. Let's imagine two people. One saves a small amount every month starting early. The other waits thinking they will save more later. Years pass. Life gets busy. Expenses increase. Responsibilities grow. Suddenly, later becomes too late. Here's the hidden truth. Financial success rarely comes from dramatic moves. It comes from starting early, even with small steps. And once you understand how powerful time is, you begin to realize there is another force working quietly in the background, a force that can either make you rich or keep you stuck. Number 6, interest works both ways. Most people hear the word interest and think it's just a small fee. Something minor, something manageable. But interest is not small. It's powerful. And it works in two completely different directions. When you invest or save, interest works for you. Your money earns money. Then that new money earns more money. And over time, the growth starts speeding up. But when you borrow through credit cards, loans, or debt, interest works against you. Your debt grows. Then the interest on that debt grows even more. And suddenly you're paying for money you spent years ago. That's why many people feel trapped financially. They are not just paying back what they borrowed, they are paying back the time they lost. Here's the deeper truth. Interest is like gravity. It pulls your finances in a direction. If you understand it early, it lifts you up. If you ignore it, it slowly pulls you down. And once you realize how powerful interest is, you start noticing something even more surprising. How small daily choices can shape your entire financial future. Number 5, small expenses become big. People often focus on big purchases, cars, phones, vacations, rent. But the real damage to finances usually comes from something much smaller. Daily spending, a snack here, a delivery order there, a subscription you barely use, a quick online purchase that feels harmless. Each one looks tiny, almost invisible. But when these small expenses repeat every day, they quietly turn into massive amounts over time. This is called financial leakage, money slipping away in small drops. You don't feel it immediately, you don't panic, you don't notice the loss, but months later you wonder why your savings never grow, why your bank balance feels stuck, why you're always starting over. Here's the hidden truth. Wealth is not destroyed by one big mistake. It's slowly drained by hundreds of small ones. And once you start tracking where your money actually goes, you begin to see a powerful pattern, a pattern that leads directly to the next concept, one that separates people who stay broke from people who build real wealth. Number 4, budgeting is freedom. Most people think budgeting is restrictive. They imagine spreadsheets, limits, and saying no all the time, so they avoid it. They tell themselves, I don't want to live like that. I just want to enjoy my money. But here's the reality most people discover too late. Not having a budget is what actually takes away freedom. Because when you don't control your money starts controlling you. Bills arrive unexpectedly. Savings stay empty. Stress slowly builds. And suddenly, every decision feels heavy. A simple purchase becomes a debate. An emergency becomes a crisis. A missed paycheck becomes panic. But when you create a budget, even a simple one, something surprising happens. You feel lighter, you feel clearer, you feel in control. Because now every dollar has a job, every expense has a purpose, and every month has direction. Here's the deeper truth. Budgeting is not about restriction, it's about permission. Permission to spend without guilt, permission to save without stress, permission to live without fear, and once you experience that control, you start noticing another powerful shift, one that changes how you see money forever. Number 3, income is not wealth. This is one of the biggest financial illusions in the world. People see a high salary and assume success, a big paycheck, a fancy car, a large house. From the outside, it looks like wealth, but income is not wealth. Income is just money passing through your hands. Wealth is what stays. You can earn a lot and still be broke. You can earn a modest amount and quietly become rich. Because wealth is not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep and how wisely you use it. There are people earning thousands every month who live paycheck to paycheck. And there are others earning less who build savings, investments, and security. The difference is not talent, it's behavior. Here's the hidden truth. Money doesn't change people. It reveals their habits. And once you understand that income alone won't make you wealthy, you begin to ask a smarter question. What actually builds wealth? That question leads directly to one of the most important concepts in finance, a concept that quietly shapes every financial future. Number 2, risk is always present. Many people think risk means danger. They think it means losing money, making mistakes, taking chances. So they try to avoid risk completely. They keep their money untouched. They avoid investing. They choose safety. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Risk never disappears. It only changes form. If you invest, you face market risk. If you don't invest, you face inflation risk. If you save too little, you face emergency risk. If you spend too much, you face debt risk. There is always risk. The goal is not to avoid risk. The goal is to understand it and manage it wisely. Smart financial decisions are not about being fearless. They are about being prepared. Here's the deeper truth. Doing nothing is often the riskiest decision of all. And once you realize that, you're finally ready to understand the most powerful financial concept on this list, the one that quietly determines whether money works for you, or you spend your entire life working for money. Number 1, make money work. This is the concept that separates workers from wealth builders, and once you understand it, your entire relationship with money changes. Most people spend their whole life working for money. They trade time for income, hours for salary, energy for survival, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem starts when that's the only way money comes in. Because time is limited, energy is limited, and eventually your ability to work is limited too. That's why the richest people in the world focus on one simple idea. They make money work for them. Not once, not occasionally, but consistently. They invest in assets, things that produce income even when they're sleeping, even when they're on vacation, even when they stop working. This could be investments, businesses, rental income, dividends, or anything that generates cash without constant effort. Here's the hidden truth most people discover late. You don't become financially secure by working harder forever. You become secure by building systems that earn without you. Because one day you will want freedom. Freedom from stress. Freedom from constant pressure. Freedom to choose how you spend your time. And that freedom doesn't come from a paycheck. It comes from ownership. Ownership of assets, ownership of income streams, ownership of your future. That's the moment when money stops being a burden and starts becoming a tool.